Mother went and tried to take money out of my bank account, by user confident_cold2281. I, 23F, had a student account under my parents' account for a while. That student account turned into a regular standard account at the beginning of March due to me not being in school anymore. Found out that my mother went and tried to take money out of my bank account under the pretense of, well, it's my money since it's under my account. I then showed her that it is in fact no longer under her account, so she had no right of doing so. Only reason I had found this information out is because she yelled at me about not having more than $50 available and my saving account being locked with a special PIN and her not knowing the PIN. The bank did not notify me of this, nor was I told of any interaction of her trying to change said PIN. She is still arguing that it is still her money and it's still under her account. Anyone want to swap mothers? Edit. I work, so the money in the account is from me working, and savings is for school that I am planning on attending and trips that I have lined up. Entitled Karen makes a fuss over my plane seat, then insists that I pay for her to move, by user Kuzura. So this happened back in January 2018, so my memory may be a bit fuzzy. So I am a 23-year-old man who usually visits my parents and siblings for Christmas and New Year's because that's the only time I can see them. So I am in the airport waiting to board my flight as I see a woman getting angry because her kids were tired and wanted to get on the plane. I think nothing of it and hope she's not sat near me. Note she was at my gate. As I was approaching my seat, an aisle seat in business class, because I knew it would be smarter than asking people to stand up so I can get to the bathroom, when I get to my seat I see one mother and two kids, one in my seat. I tell the mother that's my seat. She is visibly pissed at that statement and snaps back, no it's not, cunt. Me not wanting to have a fight on a plane grabs the attention of a flight attendant and I show her my boarding pass, so the flight attendant asks her to move from my seat politely. And as if being asked to move, said of the Karen in a raised voice, not shouting, says, this is my seat, I paid for it, so fuck off. The flight attendant, still being polite, asks to see the boarding passes to check the seats. The entitled mother pulls two out for the seats next to mine. The flight attendant, slightly less kind, says, ma'am, these are only 2 boarding passes, where is the third one? The mother, thinking she's smart, says, I must have dropped the third one, so I can't give it to you. So this causes me to butt into the conversation and say that I have the boarding pass for that seat because it's my seat. The look on her face, you would have thought I slapped her kid and called her a bitch, because she then shouts, give me my boarding pass, you bitch. I'm confused why she's so delusional at this point, because it's obviously my ticket since I bought it. The next part was back and forth arguing, which I can barely remember, but from what I do remember, it was the flight attendant saying that I clearly paid for this seat as it had my name on the boarding pass, and her arguing for a few more minutes before stopping grinning, and she said, well, if you want me to move so bad, how about you pay to upgrade me and my children to first class? I responded by saying, miss, I only have a business class seat because I do a trip like this once a year, so I tend to be comfortable during my flight and I don't have the funds for 3 first class tickets. The flight attendant then says to the Karen, either you or one of your children will have to move, or else we will have to remove you from the flight. Then without holding back she screeches, if I leave he's going to touch my babies. Me and the flight attendant are physically taken aback after hearing this. After that I stopped trying to be nice and responded, get the fuck out of my seat and never make those claims again, you self-centered bitch. The flight attendant tries to calm me down and calls for security. In the end the Karen and her children were escorted off the flight and I got a row to myself. I forgot about it until the other day, so I decided to post it here after getting into listening to these stories on YouTube. Anyways, thanks for reading my story. My son's finger boo-boo is more important than that man's heart attack, by user defunct Ma5. It was another wondrous day in the emergency room, people running wild trying to keep up, frantic health employees talking over each other. The emergency room is a mixture of very severe patients in real risk of dying, patients who really don't have an emergency but like coming here for who knows what reason, and everything in between. We had a 23-year-old male who dislocated his index finger, distal phalange, in a sporting competition. He came in accompanied by his dad, the main antagonist in our story. We attended the son, and since we are an expensive private hospital, we called the orthopedist to come and fix his finger. Meanwhile, the lad was given ketorolac to help with the pain while he waited a few minutes for his specialist to arrive. As if on cue, in comes a man with chest pain. In the emergency department, we have to treat every chest pain as guilty of being a heart attack until proven innocent, so we begin investigations. We had finished taking a brief history and were setting up the electrodes to take the EKG, when entitled dad walks up to us and says, "Hey! My son is in a lot of pain, you cannot just ignore him like this." Me, sir, your son was given medication to aid with the pain and we cannot do more for him, the specialist is on his way to get that finger fixed. Ed, I know that, but you must do something. You cannot just leave him like that. The chief of the ER, sir, we have a more urgent case here. Your son is perfectly fine and nobody but the orthopedist can fix his finger as per hospital rules. That is of course, unless you would be happy a non-specialist plops that finger back into place and you accept the risk attention by a non-specialist carries. Ed, well, no, but... Chief, wonderful, now, please give us space, we are trying to work here. Ed huffed and puffed his way back to the ortho procedures room his son was in. You might think walking into a room of 3 doctors setting up an EKG machine on a patient with a I'm in pain face would give the man a clue that priorities are priorities, but no. His son was way too precious to have a finger boo-boo sidelined for a man with chest pain. In case you are wondering, it all had a happy ending. The man with chest pain did not have a heart attack and the 23-year-old got his finger fixed and will be competition ready in no time. My mother won't let her adult daughter go out with friends, by user mermaidemily_H20. My Monday is more insane than entitled but I can't post text on r/insaneparents. My mother, 52, won't let me, 20f, go out with my friends without telling her. She lets my sister, 18, go out with her friends at all hours of the night. The difference, I'm on the autism spectrum. She says I can't take care of myself. I won't be alone, I will be with my friend, 22f, and I carry a taser in my purse. Every time I try to be independent, she freaks out and starts crying. I can't believe I even have to say this, but, please don't come at me in the comments, I simply need to vent and I don't want to be attacked by a bunch of strangers on the internet. If a random stranger insisted you watch their baby for 5 minutes and then walked away, what would you do? By user split swatchy. This recently happened to me, and I wanted to see how others would have handled it. Insight. I work at a gym. Not in childcare, not at the front desk. This person asked me to watch their baby, approximate 3 to 5 months old, for 5 minutes. I said no, twice. I also pointed this person in the direction of our gym's childcare facility. They walked away and left their baby with me anyways. Their reason for leaving the child with me was that they needed to show their wife how to operate a machine. The person who asked me to watch the baby was a man. I am a 20-year-old woman. I am the manager, the only one on site. The outcome is that I did end up watching the baby, as I would never leave a child unattended. The asinine actions of a parent are never a child's fault. TLDR in title. Edit. To expand on my job, I am the GM for a specialized fitness facility located within the general gym, and we are an independent business. Anyone employed by, insert huge gym corporation here, does not work for me nor do I work for them. Our businesses are separate, although we do our best to accommodate each other. I, unfortunately, do not have the power to suspend memberships belonging to the gym. Edit. Thanks to everyone who's leaving great advice and stories. Sorry I can't respond to everyone, but I am reading everything. You're all amazing and your input is very much appreciated. Final edit. While calling CPS/police sounds great theoretically, I seriously doubt that there is enough time to illegally detain these people until protective services show. In my case, it was 5 minutes. If there is a next time, I'll be telling them that I'm going to eat, bench press, or sell their baby, as per commenter advice. Thanks.